Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and we're here for part 2 of everybody's favorite event, Heroes Jubilee. So we did the first video when we had the space team and the wind team, and that was it. You use the space team for the first 3 normal fights, and you use the wind team for the boss battles, and lots of imagination went into those team builds. So here, we are going to show off a few teams to use on all of the stages, especially boss battle. I have like 3 different clips for 3 different teams for boss battle. I did see in my comments that people did want to see what my scores look like, so here are my normal scores: 93, 50, and 68. The normal 1 and 3 are done with the space team from the first video. Normal 2, I actually just got a little bit better today with the light team, which I'm pretty sure is in this video somewhere. So those are my normal scores. I'm going to have about, let's see, really 1 team to show for normal battle, but I'm going to explain why it's every team, because you literally just take 1 unit out and you run it, unless you're using the space team from the first video. Normal 2, I've got 1 other team, I might have another one, and then normal 3 I have, I think, two teams. But then my boss battle scores are obviously all set by the win team, but I do have 3 teams to go through with that, and they all are definitely not that high of scores. And we all do them on EX as well, that way you know that they will work on 2 and 3 if they work on EX. So without further ado, let's dive in to Normal Battle 1. Okay, so this is the team that I used for Normal Battle 1. That's not the sweaty tryhard space team with, Space Veldora and looking for stacks on stacks on stacks of him to nuke with Carrion, Hero, and Millum. Really, this is the only major team that I could think of that would get the job done. Because they're physical resistant, I don't bring the light team, because Xion is a physical unit, and it's making your main DPS who you want to nuke weaker than she needs to be is not a good idea. So, I mean, you could bring Shizu anyways as a protector and still kind of use this team, but it doesn't run as well because you don't get those 40 points from Hakuro, you don't get ult gauges from the oranges. So really, this is the team you should run for Normal 1 if you're not going the space route. And the only difference is that this Millum could be Space Millum, it could be Earth Valentine, it could be Dark Millum, it could be the new Diablo. It really doesn't matter, but this is the only unit that can be replaced because it's your main DPS. Because you want your main DPS to get Carrion buff, Rimuru buff. Well, Rimuru, not really, because normally it's Space Millum, but you want the buffs, right? That's the whole point. So, Carrion can nuke, Hero can nuke, and then whatever your main DPS will also be the nuker. So I'll show you in this clip what happens when we use, I think, Earth Valentine to nuke. So let's get into that gameplay. Alright, so here we are, Normal Battle 1. This time we're going to use Valentine. If you have Space Millum, I recommend you bring her. Just she's a better option, even at a lower level than my 100 Earth Val. I think she'll hit a little bit harder, so, and she'll enable everyone else to hit a little harder. So here, we brought Carrion for the double orb change. Again, we're going to spread the damage out 2-2-2. Want to make sure that no one really dies here. What I've discovered on my extended, like, 4, 5, 6 turn runs on Normal 1 is that the ants do hit very hard. So if you're going to use this strategy with Hakuro, you're going for a turn 3 kill, and nothing more. If you don't have the setup, then I would just reset. But if you're going to go for the sweaty tryhard one, then, turn 4, 5, or even 6 is what my highest score came from, is turn 6, and 93,000 I think is pretty good. So here, we've got, a good orb spread. We can get Carrion and Valentine's ult right here. We're only going to be missing out on the Hero, but it's okay because of what happens later on. So again, we're going to kind of spread the damage out. We want to leave 1 ant alive. That way we can get the rewind and, get our ults set up here. So thankfully it works out because we sent Carrion last, and he's a noodle. So we have his ult, we have Val's ult, we can now swap them out. But what I realized during this recording is that Carrion's gonna miss out on Rimuru's buff. Because Carrion's physical, and because he's a lower level, he's inherently not going to hit as hard. So I want to make sure that at least the hero and Valentine get the maximum amount of buffs from Rimuru, Milim, and everything else. Also, because unlike Drago, where it's just a self buff, the magic boost from Valentine is a self buff, but also has that debuff that you can capitalize on. It only applies for one turn, so I can't pop it and then send her away and then wait a turn, because we want to make sure we get that extra resistance down damage as well. So we're going to be missing out on, I think, Carrion's 15 or 20% crit boost. Unfortunate, but it's kind of how it works out. This is why I say Milim is just the better option. But honestly, like I said in the beginning, you could swap Valentine for anybody, but you kind of need this team. If you don't have Carrion, then I would just bring another Orb Changer who can do it, and then you just don't have to worry about that 15 points. So here we're making the decisions on who to swap out. So we finally come to the decision, though, that we're going to skip out on Carrion getting that buff. But we have a good hand where we can get the hero ult, so we're all set. And we can send this, we'll enter turn 3, again, where you want to kill, using the Hakuro team. And we're all set up with triple ults. So that's kind of how you want this to play out, is 100 points, max double protection gauge for Hakuro, and triple ult. So we can use the ult boost, and then we can swap her out for Valentine, and then we can apply the Rimuru buff on both Hero and Val, giving them, maximum damage. Again, Carrion's not going to get it because we can't really swap anyone else out. So I'm going to do that. So eventually, there we go. Alright, and then Carrion will come in for Rimuru. We will then apply the crit from the hero after using the last Hakuro gauge. And then we have enough to use, again, either the crit boost for the team or the magic damage and resistance for Valentine, of which we choose Valentine. So that's how you want this to turn out. Just making sure that we're targeting the right one. So there we go. Carrion, because he doesn't have the attack boost, is actually a good shot to attack here, because he won't one-shot these ants. They'll go down a decent amount of health, but he won't outright kill them. Valentine sure damn will, so we can't send that orb anywhere. So we're going to send the 2 on 2 ants, and then we're going to nuke that right ant with Valentine, who has the match resistance down. We'll hit with Carrion, and then we'll finish up with the hero. So like a third of the health or something like that. 87-2 for Valentine. Carrion 24-3. It's not good enough, but whatever. And then the hero does 37-2. She has magic damage and the extra attack boost. So our final ending score is 69-4. So it's not terrible. It's not great. You can definitely get higher if you want to use the sweaty Space Veldora strategy. But if you're just looking to kind of beat it and get out, this team works, and that's how you can at least increase your score a little bit. So again, you can swap Valentine for Milim. You can swap her for Dark Milim. You could swap her for Diablo 2.0 or something. Any kind of DPS, but otherwise the team's strategy will pretty much remain the same for using Hakuro. So that's that team comp right there. I'm sorry I don't have any others to show you, but really that's really the only way you're going to score very well on Normal 1. So let's move on to Normal 2 now. Alright, so Normal 2, using the light team, works very well, actually. And this is the team that actually got me a little bit of a higher score than my original space team run for the first video. So Shizu, Xion, Daggerel, Rimuru, Hero, and Leon. So, I mean, it's the light team. Use the buffs, get Shizu and Xion's Pierce up and ready to go. It's still a turn 3 kill. and we have 2 major buffs we want to use. So we want to ideally get Shion's ult going into the second fight against the Orc, pop Leon's light boost, send Shion away, and then get enough points on that rewinded turn to get enough points to use the hero crit boost, and then nuke the crap out of it with the Orc. So let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. As far as other teams that you could use on this one, you could also definitely use a Hakuro team, but I didn't want to use that twice in a row. So you could use the Hakuro team. You could try a Chloe team. No promises that it would work, but you could try it, because we are running with greens up front, but the second hand you would need a blue orb changer to green, and that's taking a spot of somebody that I don't know if you want to do. But I mean, you could nuke with Velzard. I didn't try it because she's just a noodle and she's not going to do anything for me. But so here we've used both the orb changes from Rimuru and Shion, so that's 2 stacks right there. Full hand of green. Still accomplishes everything. It only kills the one orc because he's a tanky little mother, which is fine. So the next hand we have Shizu ready to give us another hand of greens. Thankfully we brought Leon, right? So we have 4 blues, which generally wouldn't work, but we're going to rewind here. We're going to bring Leon in for I believe it's the hero or it's Rimuru. I can't remember which one of the 2 it is. I think we bring him in for Rimuru. Maybe. Possibly. Sort of. Yes. Okay, we do. Alright, so then we pop his orb change from blue to orange. That makes it 3 and 3 again, which means that we can safely use Shizu to her full potential. And then we can get Shion's ult right here on the beginning of turn 2. And we can also take out this orc. So then on turn 2.5, Shion has her ult. We have enough points, so we're going to use the Leon light boost and then send her away. And then by the time we get back to the orc on turn 3, we'll still have points, where we can stack up Shion's pierce power as much as possible. So here, we're going to use the light boost, and then we're going to send Shion out, bring Daggerel in, I think, or Rimuru, one of the 2. Either way, I think they have protection gauge attached to him, or Rimuru would just give protection gauge, and we can't even swap Rimuru, never mind. So it's going to be Daggerel. And I think he has like Fire Guy or something on him. So Shion comes out, Daggerel comes in. We use Shizu again for a 6-card send. Now, this is dangerous because you can kill. If your Leon and Daggerel are high level, they have a high possibility of killing, but because mine are only 84, we send them last, and they actually do almost the perfect amount of damage, because we leave them with, a little bit of red left over. But definitely can't send anything else after that. So perfect timing right there. And because of the protection traits we have, and that 6-card send, we have another Shizu, which means we get guaranteed Pierce. We can now use... we can't use everything. So we have Shion now. We can use the hero buff, which is, what we have to do. We swapped Leon out because he's not important anymore. And now we only have enough to use one of the 2 debuffs, whether it be the light resistance down or the pierce resistance down. So, I couldn't use the pierce resistance last turn because Rimuru was already hidden away. So we couldn't apply it because it does last for 2 turns. But I end up going with the pierce resist more than the light resist. So maybe one does more than the other, but it is what it is. So crit boost, pierce resistance, and then Shion's own attack boost, which I think is pretty high. It's like 47% or something like that. So then we nuke for 112 damage, which is very, very good. And our score ends up pushing a little bit past what I had by like 500 points. So yeah, I was at 49 something, and there we go. So up by 547 points. It took me out of my nice round flat number of 582,000. So super sad day right there. But there are a few other teams you could use. Again, you could use Hakuro perfectly fine. You might even do a little bit better because you have more points to play with, so you can bring more buffers. that can definitely work. Or you could use the light team, or you can use the space team. But that's it. You could also use like Hawkrow with the dark team, maybe with like Diablo 2.0 again, the strong single target nuker. But it really hinges on these very powerful 3-3 orb changers on protection. So if you don't have them, it can work. Chloe can work. The Orc can work. Gabiru can work, but it's kind of iffy. So Shizu or Hawkrow are the way to go. So now let's move on to normal 3. Okay, so normal 3, light team. Same team we used just before this on the normal 2. Just carry it over to normal 3. It can work. Not on a turn 3 kill though. On a turn 6 kill when all of his defense and all of his guard leaves. So really what you're building up to is using the maximum amount and stacking as much as you can with Xion to boost her pierce damage up. I think I do have a misplay in here where I popped Rimuru's skill too early because I was too concerned about stacking with Xion, but I don't end up actually getting to take advantage of the pierce resistance down because we push far away. So, a misplay, but it would have helped our score, but 6 turns is a while, and you want to ideally use everything you possibly can in the first 3, so sorry. So right here, we don't have enough to get a Shizu hand turn 2, but we can make we're going to rewind here, and we'll have Shizu active for the rewind turn, and then we can hopefully get Xion's ult on this rewind. And if not, it's fine. We're not really pressed for points as much as we are for some other teams. So here we're going to use the 2 orb changes to get those stacks in. And then we're going to use Shizu. She's at 90% now. Yeah, we're going to bring Leon in for hero. That way, after we get Xion's ult, we can pop the light boost and send her away. But I don't actually know if we get it. I mean, we have 3 orbs, so it's possible. Okay, yeah, we don't. So we have to wait one more turn, because she'll get a little bit from her trait, but it won't be enough to cover that empty space. So there we go, his turn, and then it goes up by a little bit, but not quite. So we have to wait another turn, which is fine. We have 4 oranges, which will definitely get us the ult right there. I don't really want to use Shizu here, but here's my misplay of using Rimuru now, when I knew going into this that I was going to nuke on turn 6. So it's just, another skill to stack up Xion's Pierce, but we put ourselves at a slight disadvantage because we don't end up actually getting to use the Pierce resistance down when we decide to nuke. So there's another orb change at least for Xion, just boosting up another Shizu hand, so another 6-card send, and then we will definitely have enough for, both Leon and Xion's ult, which is cool. Really concerned about Xion here, but again, it is what it is. And that's the whole point. So, halfway down on the HP, he is a tanky mofo. So now we can use the light boost. And then it doesn't really matter now what we use as far as skills because we're out of the stacking phase. So we can go ahead and just pop the Xion attack boost now. We're up to 43%, which is respectable. I don't know if, what would impact more, the extra 3% Pierce power that we got or the resistance down from the Pierce. Yeah. Food for thought next time. But we've sent her away. We're going to ult with Leon and just open up some space for orbs and also do some extra damage. Which he does 13.7, which is honestly more than I thought he would do, considering all the defense that he has. So we're on turn 5, so we're here. We want to make sure that we have enough points to use the crit boost and then the Daggerel debuff. So we want, ideally, 100 skill points. So we're going to bring Daggerel in, swap Reamer out, use Shizu, get another 6-card send of greens, and we're going to send this. We will definitely have enough to do everything. Maximum points. We don't think I have enough for protection gauge. I might, though. Let's find out. I don't. Alright, so we're just a little bit shy on that. It's fine, because Xion still has Pierce left over from the last turn, so she'll be okay. So we're going to bring her in. We've used Dagger's debuff now, so let's swap him out for Xion. We can use the crit damage boost, or crit rate, and then resistance down. And then we're going to play with fire right here. We can't send a Xion orb, but we can definitely send a hero orb. 7,400 is what it has left with no other defense. So there's one for 5,000, so we cut it close. And then Xion hits for 89.3, which probably would have been closer to like 95 with the pierce resistance. But again, oh well. Our final score ends up being 52.9, which I believe my score right now is 68 with the Sweaty Space Team and, you know, like 4 or 5 stacks of Eldora. So, I mean, for not getting those huge stacks, it's a pretty good score. So, let's move on to a different team for Normal 3 now. Alright, so I didn't realize that this video was already 20 minutes long before even recording this section, so we're going to split it up between normal battles and boss battles, two separate battles for alternate teams, or 2 separate videos for alternate team strategies. So the last one is Normal 3 using the Earth Team Hakuro Valentine. We've got Alice here for her Pierce and her Orb changing, because it's useful for both times. And because I'm not going to nuke until turn 6, we can actually, you know, stack up the buffs on Valentine and send her away, bring her back and use another one and send her away, and then when we're ready to nuke on turn 6, ideally, we will have everything on Valentine to make the most damage. So let's go ahead and pop the gameplay up right here. And so turn 1, you'll use Chloe to orb change into a full hand. So, very useful. So, 2 blue to 2 green. Or whoever else you want to bring. If you don't have Alice, you can definitely just bring another orb changer. You just will miss out on the Pierce. Her second effect on her Pierce is water resistance down, which has no effect on this team. So, don't worry about it. As long as you give Valentine Pierce, it's fine. So, Hakuro gauge turn 2, which is good. I think we use the rewind as well. So, right here, we get pretty lucky. We get 3 Valentine orbs, which is enough to guarantee that we get her ult. So we're going to rewind first, that way we don't have any overflow points that don't get used. There we go. And now Hakuro. We're not going to use anything else yet. But on the rewind, once we have her ult ready to go, we can send her away with the Pierce buff. So, or we'll just use it now. Either way. We have enough points to do it, and she'll still keep it. So, full 6-card send. Valentine has her ult and then some. Everyone has piercing now, but it's not really doing that much. So, but on the rewind, still has the pierce, now has her ult. We can send her away, keep her in the back, keep the pierce buff active, and then continue to build up more Hakuro and more points. That way we can use the Space Rimuru buff, the Hero buff, and Windmill buff while not having to sacrifice anything. So here, we're just burning to get, you know, protection gauge, which we will get because the Hero and Rimuru are both here. So using the 3 Alice orbs will get us into a very good position to get another Hakuro gauge, which is just even more points. And again, we have 98 points, so we can immediately bring Valentine back in and pop Rimuru's attack boost, and then get her back out again for Windmill. So it's working out quite well right here. So we'll swap Alice since she's not really important. I don't care about her ult. We'll use the attack boost, and then Valentine can go back away. So now she has both the Pierce buff and the attack boost. And now we'll just work on getting more points, getting a double Hakuro meter ready for turn 6 when we want to nuke. And then we can use both the crit bonus, the crit boost, and the ult boost, and then Valentine's own magic resistance and magic damage. So here, just, you know, more points, all the oranges, it's fine. So still turn 4, we still have turn 5 to really get back up to maximum skill points, which we can kind of do here. So we almost get there. And then with, now triple units that give protection gauge every 3 turns, and next turn is turn 6, we are guaranteed to get a double Hakuro right here. So we're looking just fine. And really, we don't really need it. It's kind of overkill on points, but why not? So defenses are gone. 99 skill points, so we can use the alt buff, and then we can bring in Valentine for the crit boost. Yeah, we didn't really need 2 Hakuro meters, we just needed 1. Again, better safe than sorry, right? So, full 6-card send, 84 points. We can use that and then the magic boost. We don't even need to use the Hakuro again, so we're just going to leave it. So now, we have all the buffs. Pierce, attack, crit, magic attack, everything. The alt boost is on there on the orb itself. He has a lot of health left. He has half his health left. So how much damage can we send before ulting? And I have killed this thing many times using the Space Team because I underestimate how much damage Milim does. But here, I don't know how much damage Valentine is going to do on one orb. So we kind of just go for it and just send both Valentine orbs and pray to God that it doesn't kill. And then the ult. So here we go. So 12,500 puts him relatively low. And now we finish it, and our score ends up being, I think, very close to what the light team did. Yeah, 52-5. So very, very close. So that is normal battle 3, 2 different teams to use. That is the end of this section of the video. I think I'll put this one up second. So hopefully I've already put up a video on alternate teams for boss battle, and then you can go and run with this down the line. But I know boss battle is a lot more important for people than normal battles, since they're all type neutral. You can use whatever team you want. So let me know if you found any of my Jubilee videos helpful. Let me know in the comments how well you're doing. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.